Hi, this is Mark Gregg, and we're showing the ultimate tube amplifier from Magis Innovations. In this video, I want to go into a little more detail about a couple of the functions, including the amp switching, where you can A/B between the ultimate tube amp head and an external amp. In this case, we've got a Vox AC30 mid-70s in original condition. And I also wanted to go into a little depth on the effects loop section as well. So basically, just to show you how this works again real quick, we can A/B amp heads through the combo cabinet. In this case, we've got a couple of the original Celestion speakers in there, the Alnicos, silverback ones, and at 15 watts piece. And I've basically got the head, the AC30, jacked into the ultimate tube amp here, and then the speakers coming out of the back. The speaker, or rather, the amplifier is going into the back of the ultimate tube amp, and then the speaker goes out from the ultimate tube amp into this cabinet. So basically, you've got the ultimate tube amp here. And I can switch to the AC30. Now, one of the things that I think is really cool about this is that there is a real high quality tube buffer built into here, so that you're actually, it actually could possibly improve the sound of your amp from just jacking in. It's a little healthier, it's stronger, maybe even a tad more gain. You can run effects between it because it's buffered, so it's actually maybe better than even jacking straight into the amplifier. It's really cool. And then once again, the boost function in the ultimate tube amp also works on the external amp. So there's without, here's with the boost. Attenuator, you can control the volume. There's a dual volume that we showed on the other video as well. I won't get into that again. But now you can use the boost. It's buffered. The other point that I wanted to make is that the external amp is always on a load. So this is always going to see a load. Even when you're switching, it's on a load. So we can do switching seamlessly and instantaneously between the two amps and silently. So in other words, you can be just jamming away and switching between amps like so. Doesn't hurt the amp. The amp is constantly on a load. The load is not switching on and off. It's always there. It's silent. It enables you to do things in a context of performance that can be quite dramatic, of course, and still sound relatively organic compared to, say, modeling amps, etc. So once again, we've got a high-quality tube buffer here for your amplifier. We've got a constant load. There's foot switchability between the two instantaneous. The foot switches come with the amp, both foot switches, which we explored in the last segment. And okay, that's that. Now, the other thing that I wanted to go into was the effects loop. The effects loop on this amplifier is extremely well designed, possibly the best effects loop on a tube amp on the planet. In recent years, the effects loops have gotten better in some of the manufacturers that offer them, but they're still, in my opinion, not quite up to snuff. This effects loop is buffered on the input and the output. So it gives you a wide variety of options as far as what you can use for effects. So in other words, you can use the rack-mounted low impedance stuff like the BB Sonic Maximizer here, or you can even use a stomp box, which most effects loops can't drive a stomp box. You just don't have enough. And in our opinion, that's not a good design. You can actually just put a regular overdrive in the stomp box, which is really cool. Here I've got an Analog Man Sun Face fuzz. It's just a low gain fuzz, and generally might not sound too impressive in an effects loop. In the front of an amp, it pushes it nicely, not anything too extreme. But let me just demonstrate that for you. So we're on the ultimate tube amp now. Now the effects loop does not work with the external amp, so just let me clarify that. So we're on the ultimate tube amp right now. And I've got it set at about halfway on gain here. It's about halfway at 12 o'clock. Consequently, so is the AC30 was on about 12 o'clock. But it's on 12 o'clock. The amp on its own is capable of a good amount of gain. I'll show you. Alright, that's the amp on its own cranked. Now here it is at about 12 o'clock. You know, it's got a little bit of a breakup, but it's a little cleaner. Now I'm going to add the loop with the analog man, and here it is. Pretty good. All right, once again, it will drive the rack mount stuff and the stomp boxes. It's buffered both ways. Basically, you can get it to sound almost exactly like the amp when you set it to parity in the back. Also, when it's switched out, it's true bypass. So once the effects loop is switched out, it has no effect whatsoever on the tone. This is a good design because you don't want the effects loop to suck your tone. The whole idea behind the Ultimate Tube amp is a very simple, direct path to amplification, which we find to be a lot more robust, more pure, more intuitive, friendly to use, and just sounds and feels better. That's our contention. Use it as a boost too. Set it loud enough, so it is set to a little bit of a boost. Let me see if I can get it to parity here real quick. So that's just to get it to sound exactly like the loop off, and here it is with the foot switch stomp. So that's basically it. The effects loop is very useful for driving a variety of different devices. It's buffered on the input, it's buffered on the output. It's an excellent design. It has true bypass, so when you take it out of the loop, it's not sucking tone. You put it in the loop, it's designed very well with buffers. Does not affect your tone too much at all that way either. Just a really great thing to have on an amp when it's designed right, which this is. Okay, that's it for this. Thanks a lot for watching.